cloaks and daggers, stealth and finesse. These are the archetypal qualities of Dungeons & Dragons Rogue class. In 5th edition, however, the flavor of the rogue is closely tied to their subclass instead of the class in general. Hi everyone, my name is CJ, and today I will be reviewing the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons Rogue subclasses. The Rogue's base class features provide them with their main damage dealing feature, Sneak Attack, which makes them one of the best damage dealers out there. They also get a few defensive and utility features, but besides the Thieves' Cant and Thieves' Tool proficiency that come with the class, they are mostly thematically bare, and this is where the subclasses come in. They provide the Rogue with a theme and specialized social or exploration features. The Xanathar's Guide to Everything gives us the Scout, Inquisitive, Mastermind, and Swashbuckler. Just to let you know, the Mastermind and Swashbuckler were also featured in Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, and they are left unchanged in Xanathar's Guide. Alright, now let's start with the Scout subclass. Befitting its name, the Scout get expert proficiency in nature and survival skills, which means that they get to double their proficiency bonus in nature and survival rolls, so they would be very reliable in wilderness. While it is possible to achieve the same thing by selecting those two skills to benefit from the Rogue's base expertise feature, these come with a subclass feature, so the Rogue is free to choose other skills to be experts in. But Wizards of the Coast have learned to not pigeonhole a certain subclass to one specific function. Even when not in wilderness, the Scout is still a pretty decent subclass. Their early subclass features are mobility oriented. If an enemy ends their turn within 5 feet of the Scout, they can move up to half their speed with their reaction without provoking opportunity attack. Because of the wording, this does not mean that the Scout can move away before the enemy attack. At the end of their turn means that the enemy still get to attack, but this feature can be used defensively or offensively. They can move away, preventing themselves from being surrounded, or even advance forward to get closer to their objective that's behind their enemy. They also get an increase to their walking speed later on, making this feature even more useful. At later levels, they get offensive features. The Ambush Master feature let them mark the first creature they hit in the first round of combat. After that, all attacks against that creature will gain advantage until the end of the Scout's turn. This is practically a death sentence for that creature if everybody decides to focus attack on it. To make this feature even better, the Scout get advantage for their initiative roll. Their last feature, Sudden Strike, makes up for the subclass's slow start. They can make a second attack with their bonus action, and that attack can also benefit from Sneak Attack, so it virtually doubles the Rogue's damage output. But the Sneak Attack can't be activated on the same target twice, so it's not intended to replace the Assassin's role. Next up, we have the Inquisitive. This subclass's theme is the Detective Rogue. Imagine Sherlock Holmes or Rick Deckard from Blade Runner. They have various features that help them uncover lies and even magical illusions. It is particularly useful in social interaction and mystery-based campaigns. One feature is particularly powerful in my opinion, Steady Eye. It gives them advantage on perception and investigation check if they move at half speed. When out of combat, it would mean almost every single time. They also get a powerful offensive feature, Insightful Fighting. It lets them make insight check contested by their opponent's deception. If they succeed, they can make sneak attack on their enemy without needing to have advantage. It doesn't require the use of their main action either, so they can still attack after using this feature. The feature lasts for either 1 minute or until it's used on another opponent, because that way the Inquisitive Rogue doesn't have to do an extra roll every turn, which would be a chore for both the players and Dungeon Masters. At higher level, this feature does extra sneak attack damage too. Opposite to the Inquisitive subclass is the Mastermind. If there is Sherlock Holmes, then there is his arch-nemesis Professor Moriarty. The Mastermind is a deceptive and manipulative class. They can mimic the speech pattern and accent of a creature they have heard speaking for 1 minute, and after interacting and observing a creature for 1 minute, they can learn a few information regarding the creature's intelligence, wisdom, charisma score, or more. At higher levels, they can't have their mind read, even by magic, and magic can't expose their lies either. They can even present false thoughts to the mind reader by making deception check contested by the reader's insight. For combat abilities, they can use help action to aid an ally attacking a creature within 30 feet. So as long as they are in range, they can grant their allies advantage on their attacks. The misdirection feature lets them use their reaction to redirect attack to a creature that's granting them cover. This works on enemy creatures and even allies, so if they have a fighter or barbarian friend who are willing to take the hit, then they'll be safe. Conversely, if an enemy happens to be providing them with a cover, that will work too. But in most cases, it will be from range attack, because enemies standing side by side would not be providing you with cover. The last subclass on the list is the Swashbuckler. This seems to be pretty popular, because I can see some of you asking for it in the comments. Some people associate the Swashbuckler archetype with pirates, due to the common use of the word swashbuckling in pirate movies. But the Swashbuckler is really just a charismatic sword user. Even the land-bound Zoro is a swashbuckler. Being skilled swordsmen, it's natural that they don't need to fulfill the usual conditions to gain sneak attack on their enemy. They can gain sneak attack if their enemy is within 5 feet of them and there are no other creatures within 5 feet of the swashbuckler. So imagine it as if they can fight better when their enemy is isolated and the swashbuckler have enough room to move around. They can also do a bit of a hit and run on their enemies because they get a feature that prevents enemies making opportunity attacks on them, but they have to make a melee attack on the enemy. Further milking the charismatic swordsman archetype, they also get the panache feature that lets them steal their opponent's attention. If they win their persuasion check contested by their opponent's insight check, the latter get disadvantage attacking anyone else besides the swashbuckler, and couldn't make opportunity attacks on other targets either, so it is a pretty good way to get their friends out of trouble. That feature also gets some use out of battle, because it can be used to charm non-hostile creatures. Elegant Maneuver lets them use their bonus action to gain advantage on their next acrobatics or athletics check. Out of combat, this means that almost every time they make those checks, they would get advantage. Their last feature, Master Duelist, lets them reroll their missed attack with advantage, so it is like a weaker version of the basic rogue's stroke of luck feature, but it's still pretty good to have backup. This subclass emulates the silver screen swashbuckling heroes pretty well. In general, I think all the rogue subclasses are pretty decent. They all have a good balance between combat and non-combat features. The Scout starts out pretty slow, but its latter features makes up for it. Then again, with most adventure modules ending at level 15, I wonder if many players will get to see the Scout's full potential. Well, that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Feel free to leave a comment below to share your thoughts. By the way, if you find this review to be useful, give it a thumbs up. If you are new here and want to see more Dungeons & Dragons content, please subscribe and press the bell button so that you'll be notified when new videos like this are published. I would usually publish Dungeons & Dragons videos on weekends. CJ, over and out.